Ink Ribbon.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. So I keep seeing that people are calling me a PlayStation fanboy, and I don't know where this is all coming from. I like all systems equally. I'm not even that big into PlayStation. And even if I was, like, what's the problem? Okay, I mean, I like all consoles equally, and oh shit. Oh, did I break my phone? No. Okay. Sorry, I dropped my phone. But here's the thing, is even if I like PlayStation just a little bit, I actually started with Nintendo, so don't call me a PlayStation fanboy. Now, before I get into today's video, I quickly want to tell you about today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. You guys know I don't do sponsorships with products that I wouldn't use myself, and this VPN is no different. In this day and age, everyone should be using a VPN, and Surfshark more than does the job. Aside from the fun stuff like accessing content that isn't allowed in your country, a VPN is a really important tool for keeping you and your information safe from all the companies out there trying to learn everything about you. Things that are none of their business. The people over at Surfshark have provided an exclusive code for you guys with a whopping 83% discount, and not only do you get the discount, but you'll also get 3 months free when you sign up with my promo. For this deal, make sure to use code INKRIBBON at checkout. Links to all of that are down in the description. Thanks again to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. As a kid, I almost always had a Game Boy in my hands. Oh, I have a Game Boy. Not like this. This is my cool adult vaporwave backlit Game Boy. But I did have the original Game Boy, and unfortunately there's no pictures of that, because every time that my parents took my picture, they would tell me, put down the video game, come take a picture. Well, who's laughing now, mother? But really though, I played the hell out of that thing. I mean, Tetris, Mario Land, oh my god, Mario Land. Please tell me you guys played that back in the day. Like, it's so unique. Anyway, Bomberman, man, I can't remember what games I had for Game Boy. But I know that Super Mario Land and then the one with the 6 coins, I played those to the ends of the earth. And of course, eventually I got Pokemon, and it was fantastic. But then something unexpected happened. Without warning, without provocation, my parents came home with a Super Nintendo.
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing, feeling, when you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come, the games of Super Nintendo.
Still don't know why. Never got an explanation. They just bought one. And I'm so glad they did, because that system put me on the trajectory to being the gamer that I am today. Now, the SNES was the shiz. I spent so much time playing the Super Nintendo, and I was mesmerized. I was hooked. I could not stop playing video games. Donkey Kong Country, X-Men Apocalypse, which is a very underrated, awesome game with really good music. I use it in my videos a lot. Tetris 2, which is, in my opinion, not only the best Tetris, but probably the best puzzle game I've ever played. I don't know, it's just got this really nice 80s aesthetic that I love. The music is great. Pac-Man 2, which is this really fun little adventure game. It was probably my first adventure game now that I look back on it. I had a Scooby-Doo game, which was really fun, but really, really hard. I remember that. Street Fighter 2, of course, even though I sucked. Mortal Kombat 2, even though I sucked. Yoshi's Island, Super Metroid, and of course, several Mario titles. These games, all on Nintendo systems, were my beginnings as a gamer, and there's a good chance it was the same for you. But you probably went into 2 different trajectories. You either continued playing Nintendo games into adulthood and you still play them today, or if you're like me, you started transitioning into other things that were maybe more on the PlayStation or Xbox side of things, maybe more mature titles. Of course, there is the third option of you just play everything, but that's no fun. We're not counting that. Though that still kind of speaks to what I'm trying to get to here. The reason I decided to make this video is because of one major Nintendo franchise. One that I absolutely loved as a kid, and it really pains me to say this, but I outgrew it. And that franchise is Pokemon. Pokemon was a big deal for me. It was my first RPG, and it was bright, and it was colorful, and it was fun, and it had so many different designs. In case you were wondering, my favorite Pokemon is one that no one ever knows. It's Porygon. Because being obsessed with 3D graphics, especially back in the 90s when everything was low poly, Porygon was low poly, and he was cool. I don't like Porygon 2 though, or whatever his evolution is called. But anyway, yeah, I loved playing those games. And at the time, they were great. I was age appropriate. They were, I thought they were hard, but I didn't know at the time that they were actually really easy because they're for kids. And then when Pokemon Snap came out on the Nintendo 64, that blew me out of the water. To be able to see these Pokemon in 3D, for me it was for the first time. And you guys know that I love my 3D graphics, so to see these Pokemon actually running around in the wild and you take pictures of them, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing! So recently, there was the announcement of Pokemon Snap 2, and I was like, oh my god, I wanted to be excited, I was like looking forward to it, and I watched the trailer, and my cold, dead heart felt nothing. And like, it's not that the game looks bad or anything, I'm actually really impressed with how much they put into it. I mean, they really treated it like a true sequel and put love and care into it instead of just being like, here's a cash grab. And I really respect that. But the fact of the matter is, the main series of the Pokemon games, well, even Pokemon Snap, it's just, they have not changed. These are the same games we've been playing since the beginning, with like little things added here and there and some tweaks. But for the most part, Pokemon has not changed at all. Even the recent announcement of Pearl, whichever one they're remaking, everyone's general reaction was like, I remember seeing a comment where they're like, we want a remake, and then they see it and they're like, no, not like this. And it's because it's, from a game design standpoint, it's the exact same game. And it makes me crazy because everyone who played Pokemon in the 90s is an adult now. Where's our Pokemon game? Where's one that's like, I'm not saying make a really hard game or a mature game with like Pikachu titties or something. I'm just saying make something that's a little more robust, a little more challenging. Pokemon has not changed or evolved at all. Now that's what I call irony. But it also got me thinking, is this the only game that has done this? And the answer to that is no. Well, So Mario is a good example of a Nintendo product because their games have kept with the base platforming mechanic that made Mario what it is today, but they've incorporated new things, they've added stuff, they've gone from 2D to 3D to back, they did Mario Maker, they have continued to evolve the franchise. And then Mario Odyssey is just, I haven't played it, but from what I know, it's like Grand Theft Auto Mario or something. I don't know, open world, cool, that's great. Where's the Pokemon version of that? Where's the Yoshi's Island version of that? And Yoshi's Island was one of my all-time favorite games, and it still is to this day. But have you played Yoshi's Woolly World? What the hell was that? Even Girlfriend Reviews, who is not a gamer, knew that it was a game for babies when she played it. And she talks about that on her channel. I highly recommend their channel. I love those videos. When we played these games back in the day, we were babies. We were little baby gamers. It was challenging and it was hard, but now we are adults, we're skilled, we're competent gamers, we're ready for a challenge, we're ready for more. Bring it on. I'm sorry, Nintendo, I didn't want to outgrow you, but that's kind of what you set me up for. Once the PlayStation came along and I played like Tomb Raider and Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil, that got me hooked. I was so into these mature storylines and these new environments, and everything was like not realistic, but you know, like 90s realistic as far as graphics could go back then. And it was a whole different world. You guys understand. I'm sure it was the same thing for you, where you're like, oh, this is much better. And over time, I just slowly began to distance myself, not on purpose, from all the cutesy stuff. I can't even tell you last time I played a Mario game, or was even excited for one. And I want to make something clear, I am not bagging on Nintendo. In fact, from a game design standpoint, as a game dev myself, I will commend Nintendo. They have some of the highest quality products, or I guess games, but like their game design, the graphics, that's why there's like hardly ever any serious glitches in any Nintendo games, because they really put in the time and care, you know, and their games are so clean and just really well designed. Nintendo's great, but is Nintendo just for kids, you know? So I decided to look that up to actually find out, and their target demographic, which they stated publicly, is 15 to 30-year-olds. Now I'm 32, I guess that means I've outgrown it, but I'm also wondering, maybe I'm just not the target demographic for Nintendo. Maybe I'm just not their audience, and that's why it doesn't appeal to me, which makes me sad, but I can't help what I like. At this point, the only time I really play Nintendo games is just for that infusion of nostalgia. You know, when you're feeling down or you want to just escape reality for a second and go back to your childhood, I'll totally play some Yoshi's Island or Super Metroid. Super Metroid, or I guess the Metroid franchise, would be a great like vehicle towards a more mature games, because Metroid is like the one franchise of Nintendo that I'm here for, except they haven't released a proper game. And I don't like first-person shooters, so I didn't like Metroid Prime. You see, like, the frustration I'm feeling? I don't want to feel this way. Like, Nintendo, why? Okay, and I know this video is probably really disjointed and I sound like I'm just complaining, but I've had these thoughts in my head for a really long time, and I just had to get them out the only way I know how, by making a video and asking you guys, is it just me? Or do you feel this way too? Like you really want to play Nintendo games, but you just don't, because it's like, I'd rather go play this horror game or whatever. And if it is only me, maybe I need to give Nintendo another chance. I mean, I've got a Switch. It's right over there. I never play it, because I'm always playing my Vita, because I'm cool like that. With all of that, I will ask you one simple question. Are there any games from your childhood that you have outgrown as a series? And if so, which ones and why? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, give a boop to the like button. It helps out my channel a lot. And once again, a big thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. I was very happy to work with them again. But I am going to end this video here. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon. And a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your extra support means the world to me and helps me keep making content for you guys.